How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Welcome to another All About RVs. Today, I want to share with you a simple modification that we're going to do to the RV that is really common in homes, but doesn't really translate that often into the RV world. And I think it's almost even more important and more functional in an RV for this modification. And it's adding a shutoff to your plumbing fixtures, really more importantly to the toilet. And there's a handful of reasons why it's more important for the toilet. I'm also going to put them in for the faucet inside the bathroom. You could also do it in the kitchen, but I'm going to walk you through why it's important for the toilet. I want to do it. We've gone a couple of years without it, but it comes in really handy when you need to do something with that seal. You need to take it out, you need to clean it, you need to replace it so that you can have the water stay inside that bowl. Being able to shut it off just is going to make it that much quicker and easier. The valve on the side of the toilet for the foot pedal flush, those are known to go out regularly. So being able to shut it off right at the toilet and not have to lose water throughout the rest of the RV, this gives you a shut-off point for just isolating the problem so that you can get to it and fix it and not have everything have to go down. There's also some really handy ways if you have an issue with your black tank, of some strategies that you can use going in through the top to be able to fix some of those problems. We'll get to that in other videos, but having the shut off there will give you the opportunity to turn off the water, open up that foot pedal, and do what you need to do. And then when you're done in that area, you could turn around and still have water at the sink to be able to wash your hands. Comes in really functional for a lot of different reasons. Those are just the top main ones of why I'm doing it to our toilet. So we have our two main components that we're going to install on the toilet here. We have our angle stop, where we can basically just cut our PEX, put this on, crimp it, and then we connect our braided line to that, and then that connects to the toilet. The problem that I have there is I don't like the tubing that they installed bringing that up from the PEX, so I'm going to do a little modification on that one, but I want to show you how easy this can be. So I'm going to show you on the sink first because we just have PEX. We don't have any of that tubing, and I can show you basically the same thing going from this angle stop to the braided line to the fixture that is there. So that's just my preference. I want to get rid of the tubing and go to the PEX. So this will show you how easy that is when you just have PEX coming up to your fixture. One of the things that I like about PEX is it's really easy to work with. You can cut this stuff with a utility knife if you wanted to. You could use a tool like this where you could just pop it onto the pipe, rotate it around, and it has a blade inside of there to give you a nice square cut on the end here. So this is easy to work with, but you do want to install it properly. So when you put that pipe onto the fitting, you want your pipe to seat on there fully and have a nice straight cut. And then when you put your crimp ring on there, you don't want to run it all the way to the end. You want to pull it back 1/8 to 1/4 inch so that way it'll seat on there properly, and then you can just use a simple tool like this to be able to tighten that crimp ring down. So this is, I've had multiple PEX tools over the time that I've been a contractor and just using them in the RV. I keep this one in the truck because it's so easy. I just keep it in the tool bag. It's not huge, it's not big, and it works really well. There's different types of PEX out there that kind of fall under the PEX pipe, but this is typically what we see inside of the RV, so I'm just matching what's already there, and it's a small tool to be able to keep on hand. So I'll put links down in the description to everything that we're talking about today, from this PEX tool to the lines that we're using, the fittings, everything that we're talking about will be down in the description. But doing this properly, having a good crimp on it, will make the job last a long time. Now that we have this one done, we can head down to the storage and begin replacing that tubing. It shouldn't be that bad. You might be asking why I'm not just crimping onto that tubing that's going up. There is a difference between PEX and the tubing. You can see the tubing there looks completely different than the PEX that we have here. PEX is extremely strong. Anytime I've had a leak on the RV, it's usually in this tubing. So anytime that I have the opportunity to replace, and it's easy for me to replace this tubing, I absolutely am going to replace it. So I'm getting rid of the tubing and putting in the PEX. Little tip for you, I'm going to use a collapsible bucket underneath here to do this project. I've obviously turned off the water and I've relieved the pressure before I cut into any of the pipes, but there's still going to be water in there. So using this collapsible bucket, I can get it back in there so the EMS surge protector doesn't get water on it, and that whole mess of wires, it would just be a pain to try and get the water out of that area. So using this works fantastic, and I'm going to have a rag on hand before I cut into it. So here we go. So this one's going almost as fast as when we did the sink. So I'm cutting out the T, so we're already cutting the PEX. I'm cutting out the T because I wanted to replace it with a brass T. So we already have our PEX cut. We put our crimp rings on there, crimp it down until the light comes on, letting us know that we crimped it properly. And so the T is done, then we just have our stub up. with a now newly added support. We crimp on our angle stop, and then we just have to connect the supply line. These braided hose supply lines are also easy to install. They're a compression fitting, so you don't need to put the white tape or any kind of compound on the fittings that you're doing. They already have a compression system in there, so they're going to seal themselves when you tighten these down properly. So overall, this is a very functional modification and easy to do to the RV. I really don't think that you're going to regret doing a modification like this to your RV. It's probably going to come in handy and you're going to thank yourself for doing it in the future. So if you had an issue with the valve on the toilet or the seal inside and you needed to turn off that water, or you were unclogging something or working on an issue in the black tank, being able to shut off that water and still have water on the inside of the RV, you're pinpointing the problem and giving yourself more function inside of there. So I think that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it helps you out. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about RVing, hit that subscribe button. If we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video.